Great. Welcome everybody to Alameda County History Day 2020-2021. And this is our official teacher kickoff event. Got some slides to share with you. Both Ben Sanders from the Alameda County Office of Education and Rob Darrow were both here in support of History Day. You can see the theme this year is communication in history, the key to understanding. Personally, I kind of like the colors this year, the bright green on black. I think that could be a lot of fun. So just some background information about History Day. Anybody from grades 4 through 12 can participate in History Day. We've had people in all these categories over the years, and hopefully we will again this year. Know that in each category at the county level, the top 4 projects move on to the state competition. And then the top 2 from the state move on to the national. And I'll just say this, and you'll hear me say it again, we believe all competitions this year are going to be online. For sure Alameda County is, for sure National History Day California is. We expect that the National History Day will be online as well because all the other state contests around the United States are doing theirs online as well. So we expect that for this year, all competitions are going to be online. And so that's the format we're in this year. A year ago, we didn't know we were doing that. And so we've all adjusted, and hopefully you and your families and schools will adjust with us too, because it kind of opens up some new opportunities for History Day we didn't think about before. So with that, again, the theme is here. If hopefully you're on the agenda document that I sent out to all of you. So if somebody's on that document, could you put the link in the chat room for me? So that it's in the chat room for the people that are here, that you can link on it. Because everything I'm talking about is linked there. And what I know is it's easier to link right from the agenda for all of you than it is to link on my slides. So know that the agenda I sent out to everybody is there. One of the links on that agenda is, if you need help, thank you, Sudha, thinking of a topic, the Minnesota State History Day people have been doing History Day for a lot of years. As some of you may know, I've been involved with History Day now for over 25 years. And I have a daughter who's now 30 years old, and she did History Day when she was in 5th grade. So she did History Day from 5th grade through 12th grade. So I was a coach for her, and I coach for kids and all that. So I just love History Day. It's a great program, and there's so many different exciting directions to go. So here's some options for picking a selection. So here are some differences for this year. Some of the different ways we're presenting the categories this year. So poster, this is for 4th and 5th grade students. You're going to create your poster, you're going to put it together in a PDF, and your written materials are going to be submitted as a PDF. So notice this is the same way every category is going to go. You're going to submit one part as a PDF or some format, and then all your written materials are going to be submitted as a PDF. So that means your title page, process, and annotated bibliography in every category are the same way. So since there aren't any 4th or 5th grade students, I think I'm just going to move on from here. Oh, I didn't change things at the bottom of this. Was there a question from somebody?
Yes, Rod. I'm a parent of a 4th-year-old who's participating for the first time.
Oh, thank you.
Unable to attend because he has classes still going on. So I was wondering if you can elaborate a little more or anything further that we need to look out for.
Great. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, so there's the History Day poster has certain guidelines as far as what they look like. And so they can, as you can see there, they can be two-dimensional. The poster can be, most of those posters are vertical, and you'll create that. You could create it in a variety of different ways. The link on the agenda, there's a link there that shows the more detailed information about creating posters. And so the bottom line is you create the poster in a digital format, you save it as a PDF, and then that's what you'll turn in addition to the title page, process paper, and annotated bibliography.
Awesome.
Okay, so that kind of gives you those pieces there. The parts at the bottom of this screen that say Sacramento and North Bay submission, that should say Alameda County. I missed this, but because the Sacramento and Northern California people sent out these slides and I adapted them for us. So for the exhibit, similar thing, you'll build your exhibit. You're going to put it together as a PDF. Now, for those of you who may have done an exhibit in the past, there are lots of ways to build an exhibit, but this year there's only one way to build it. And again, you can see what the layout size is there. So there's, you're not going to create a spinning exhibit this year or any other fancy ways of putting that together. You're going to do it similar to how you do a poster, except it's all going to be flat. And Ben can remember this because he helped judge some of the exhibits last year that were in different formats. And, we took pictures of exhibits and it just didn't make it too easy to read it. So the exhibit category, the way you'll present it is different than in the past. But
so I had a question about this. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the exhibit is not going to be a physical exhibit, like it's a digital one.
Correct. Yep.
So it's kind of like a PowerPoint, basically.
No, it's not like a PowerPoint.
Oh, it's not.
Nope.
Okay.
It's going to be one flat document. I would think of like a 10-page document that's saved as a PDF. But you know what? It could be in a PowerPoint
It's a PowerPoint saved as a PDF, basically.
Is that what it's saying?
No, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. It's kind of like that.
Right, because it would be a series of documents of images. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But, as you're bringing that up, Julia, I don't know if we have examples of that yet. I know that at the state level, there was lots of debate among the different coordinators about how to do this. But just note that this is going to be created digitally, and that the layout dimensions are there, and what the font should be like. Yeah, so it's all digital. So it could be in PowerPoint, but I don't know if you could do it in a PowerPoint in one slide, but if you had more slides, I don't know if that would work. But if it works for you, let me know.
And then will you send out, I know we'll get the recording, but will you send out these slides too?
Yeah, well, you've got on the agenda, you've got a link to the slides, so you've got it as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so the exhibit is different this year, right? That's probably one of the bigger differences this year. The performance is similar to performance in the past in the sense that that you're going to do a performance this year and you're going to film it somehow and turn in that film of the performance. So that's a difference. So performances will be recorded and turned in as an MP4 file, which is the same file format that people who do documentaries do. So that part's all there as well. And then again, your written materials will be submitted as a PDF. So for performance is pretty much the same as it's been in past, except you're going to record it instead of perform it live in front of a bunch of judges. And you'll turn in the video of the recording. And I know if any of you did it last year, you did a great job because we kind of did it that way last year anyway. So, so that's the performance. There's a question about, is there an example of a virtual exhibit? I'm realizing that I don't have specific examples right now, but I'll be sure and send those out so we look at them. And I know at the state level, we had talked about doing one example of one, and I'll find out where those are and make sure you all get them. And Sudha, if you did not get an email from me about this meeting, oh yeah, you did. I've got you on my list. So for anybody who's on here, if you didn't get an email directly from me, then put your email in the chat and I'll make sure to add you to my list. So there's the performance. Those of you who've been involved in the past, I will tell you that the performance is the least involved, or least number of people do performance. And that's been universal for the last 25 years in History Day. So it's a good category if you're a performer. And then the other part of the Virtual History Day, the documentaries are pretty much identical to the way they've been done in the past. They've always been submitted as an MP4 video format. We'll watch them online and then judge them. And and the websites and the historical paper. So all of these, documentary, website, and historical paper, all that stuff is the same. And those of you who are involved, I know Karthik made it to nationals last year and knows all about the History Day platform there for websites. So anyway, so that stuff is all there as well. So keep in mind, I'm glad somebody asked this question, that exhibits, posters, exhibits, performance, documentaries, and websites can all be done as individuals or as groups. And if you're a group is 2 to 5 people. So those are how you do those different things. And you know, if you do a group, well, you know, you all know how you communicate with each other. So just keep in mind that think about how you're going to have ongoing meetings in the virtual world, in the online world. So there's a new History Day rulebook that's linked in the agenda for you. You can look at that new rulebook if you'd like. I would recommend that the adults in the room especially take a look at that book, because they do a real good job of spelling everything out for you so that you can see what's happening. And so you see that well. Some of the important changes are that there's a process paper required in all categories, including the paper category, just to make it consistent. Again, the title page, the process paper, and annotated bibliography, that's same for every project at every level. Oh, they added this. So I looked at this, but I'm looking at the annotations, should not be more than 3 sentences long. So they don't want long annotations for bibliography. So I think that's pretty good. And then multimedia on websites should not exceed 3 minutes. Oh, and they've got multimedia on exhibits. How are they going to do that? I'm pausing there for a minute because this was not discussed on the exhibit page, I don't think. Let me go back to that exhibit page. Yeah, they didn't talk about that here. So I'm curious about how you would do that on an exhibit. I'm thinking there'd have to be a link to multimedia if you did it on exhibit. So that'd have to be an MP4 format somewhere. So let me just say to any of you, if you're doing exhibits or you've got people doing exhibits and want to add any kind of multimedia on exhibit, check with me at that point in time so that we make sure that everything gets linked together the right way. All right, so those are all those changes. Any other questions about any of these? Great, thanks for giving me those emails. I'll be sure and add you to my list. So Web Central's the National History Day Web Builder website. There's no cost to students to doing it. You know, the other thing there's no cost to is just testing it out. So if you've never done a website but think, oh, I might like to do it, you can go register, you can test it out, you can follow the History Day piece there, and then you can test out the website category. There's lots of website categories and website examples. And again, I'll update all of our examples on one page, so you'll have just one page to click through and see all the examples so you have them. So overall, just keep in mind as you do your History Day project that the research and the topic have to come first, right? Don't just jump ahead and say, I'm doing a website and then go backwards. That's not really the best way to do it. You can be successful with that, but a better way is to find the topic you like, start the research, and then decide which way you want to display it. Because some topics may work better as a performance and some may work better as an exhibit. Of course, if you're in 4th and 5th grade, you're just going to do a poster. So anyway, these are all the areas that we judge the categories with. We want to make sure there's multiple perspectives, and I can't tell you too many times the importance of making sure that your topic fits the theme and that there's some thesis that fits with all these pieces. So that's kind of what all the projects are similar in that sense. There's a teacher toolkit on the National History Day California web page, which I linked in the agenda, as well as a toolkit that we put together in Alameda County as well. So here's some important dates to keep in mind. So we have a County History Day competition, then there's the NHG California State competition, then there's a National History Day competition. You have to place at a certain level in each one of those categories in order for you to qualify. So know that this time is our research time from now until January. If you're at a school where there's many projects, then your school sometime in January would have some sort of school contest and narrow down to the top 3 or 4 projects to quote send on to county. And all those deadlines are by February 16th. So your County History Day deadline is February 16th. All projects, all links will be turned in by February 18th. I haven't totally figure out how you're going to turn all those in yet, but we'll get it figured out by February. And then we will have a County History Day on March 13th, and we intend to do an interview for all students. Know that at California History Day, they chose not to do interviews, but across Alameda County, we felt that it was very useful and helpful. And so we plan on doing interviews via Zoom, just like we're doing right here. So we feel like it's important to highlight the wonderful work of all of our students, and that's one way to do it. And that's how people like Ben and other judges who hadn't judged before got a sense of what all the projects were. And the highlight for many of us is hearing the students talk about how the work that they did on the project. So that's our timeline, our key dates. And again, that's linked on the agenda page in more detail there as well. So that's where the registration would take place. So my final question for all of you is how can we support you? So I think the main thing to say to all of you, and hopefully you're looking at the agenda and to finish out this recording, is all of our links are on our Alameda County History Day webpage. We're here to help support what you want to do, and we're excited that you're here to be involved in History Day, and we'll do whatever we can to help support you. I'll talk a little bit more about this in just a minute, but I think at this point, I'm going to stop the recording so that I can stop these slides. And then if people have other questions, in fact, let me just move to this final slide, and then I'll go back to that other slide, just to say that if you need to contact me, there's my email, and in all the emails I send to you, my phone number's there as well, so you're welcome to call or text or whatever you need to do in order to help support you in moving forward with History Day.